So Alphabet City in Manhattan is technically like a neighborhood within a neighborhood. So why do I say that? Alphabet City is technically in the East Village. Sometimes people kind of talk about it like it's its own separate neighborhood, but real estate-wise, it is considered a separate neighborhood. So you may also hear people referring to it as ABC Village. That's technically just another name for the neighborhood. I would say that Alphabet City is probably a little bit more common, but honestly, I use both of them when I'm talking about it. So why is it called Alphabet City? That's because it is made up of the avenues that start with a letter. So Avenue A, Avenue B, Avenue C, and Avenue D. So although this neighborhood is technically within the East Village, it's definitely a much wider part of the East Village. So it borders the East Side waterfront, and typically waterfront neighborhoods tend to always be a little bit quieter. Tend to, I say, because there's always exceptions, but it definitely is quieter than the hub of the East Village. That's for sure. So sometimes people like to live in ABC Village just because it is quieter. So you can get an apartment close to the East Village, but it's going to be on the quiet side. And then other people just absolutely hate the quiet there and think it's kind of creepy walking around there, which I can see how you can see both different sides depending on what your perception of Manhattan is and where you are in your life at that point. Just like with any neighborhood that's pushed up all against the waterfront, you have to walk in to get a subway. So just keep that in mind as well. Now, I have to say, if you watch any of my other videos, you probably know at this point that I'm also very, very biased for waterfront neighborhoods because there's something about not being landlocked in New York City. And what I mean is that you can just leave your apartment and go take a nice walk on the waterfront, because in some neighborhoods, you can't do that. You have to walk a lot or take a subway just to get to the waterfront area. So it's definitely more of like a neighborhood residential feel over here in this part of the East Village. But I have to say, I think that the neighborhood has come a long way over the years. They're developing more there, more restaurants and bars are popping up there. Now, some people do say that they don't like these changes that are taking place, and I do understand it from both sides. But I do have to say, it's definitely becoming more on the radar now for newer people moving into Manhattan than it ever was before. So that's basically an overview of Alphabet City. Now, would you ever live in Alphabet City? I would love to know in the comments. Or have you ever lived in Alphabet City? I would love for you guys to share your stories in the comments below, because as always, I just love hearing from you guys.